What's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Mina and I make videos every Fridays, and today's video is going to be the reading habits tag by Ariel Bissett. Yeah, I'm just gonna get started because I love tags, and this tag I saw a YouTuber that I follow do this, and so I decided to do it. I think it was Carrie Hope Fletcher that did this, and I was like, oh, this seems like a fun tag, so I'll do it myself. So here I am 2 days later and I am doing this tag, so we're gonna get started. This is gonna be a short video because obviously, even though I like to talk a lot, you can only say so much about these questions, so let's get started. Question 1, do you have a certain place at home for reading? I actually do not. I read pretty much any and everywhere that I can read. I do prefer to read in my room when it's quiet and I'm by myself because I get easily distracted, and I don't understand those people. You know, there are people who like actually listen to music when they're reading. I don't understand that. There are people who will watch TV or have like white noise back in the background and listen to music even if it doesn't have lyrics. I can't do that. I prefer to read in complete silence. So most of the time an ideal spot would be my room, but I do read like in the living room of my house where my family is most of the time. That's where I'm at, or like at school between classes. So yeah, I don't really have a specific spot that I read. Okay, number 2, bookmark or random piece of paper. Actually, I am gonna get shunned for this. I dog ear the book pages. I don't have a bookmark and I haven't had one in the longest time, and even when I do have one, I just kind of forget to use it and I just dog ear. Is that what it's called? Like when you yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I just really can't be bothered and I don't have a random piece of paper and I don't have a bookmark, so I just like do whatever's easiest. Or if I'm like gone for 2 seconds and need to be back, I'll put like whatever I can find near me, or like just set the book upside down with the pages open. So yeah, shun me. Okay, number 3, can you just stop reading or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages? I like to read at least 100 pages a day, because if I don't like put in the effort to read, I don't read. Last year I could have gotten 100 books read and I didn't, because in the beginning of the year I just didn't even like read. Like I was in a reading slump for like the first half of the year, and then I started reading and I think I got to 50 or 60 books. So I could have gotten to 100, but because I was just so... Last year was so weird, so I just really didn't feel like reading, and my library was closed, so I couldn't get the books. So, yeah, so I did that, and then, what was the question? After a certain pages. Yeah, so now this year, because I want to hit at least 75 books, I force myself to at least read 100 pages, and it's not really forcing because I have the time for it. I just like don't put in the effort, so I like to make myself put in the effort to read, and most of the time it turns out fine. I will read 100 pages and I don't really stop until I reach a new chapter, so I don't just randomly stop in the middle of the pages and call it a day. I have to get to a certain chapter or something, and then I will stop and go on with my day. So yeah. Number 4, do you eat or drink while reading? No, I don't understand people who do, because I just don't have the brain capacity to do that. One thing is more than enough for me. Like, if I'm there and I'm focused on the book, I cannot be like reaching and eating, because then I get distracted. And I'll drink water when I'm reading. I don't really go out of my way to get a snack or something to drink while I'm reading. I just really read. And I've never really had a problem with that. I don't really... Like, I've always been that way. I don't really like to snack while I'm reading, and I don't like to drink anything while I'm reading. Like, sometimes I'll have a coffee if I'm having like a super chill morning, or I'll do like a water, like, cause if I need to remind myself to drink water also, so I'll drink water. But yeah, most of the time I'm not eating or sipping on anything. Multitasking is number 5. Music or TV while reading? I already addressed this. No, I cannot. I have like a combination of one brain cell in my head, so it can only focus on one thing. I cannot read and listen to music even if it doesn't have lyrics. I just get distracted super easy. I've tried to like play classical music in the background and read, but it's just like, why? You know, like I just want to be immersed in whatever I'm reading. Now sometimes if there's a vibe of the book, like if I'm reading like a royal type of book, like about princes and princesses and kings and whatnot, I'd like maybe put like a dark academia or like royal core playlist from YouTube on in the background, and usually they're pretty like just music, and so it doesn't have any lyrics, so it's not distracting. But it's just to get me in the vibe. And there's like this YouTube page that just posts like 3-hour compilations of music, and they name it like after a certain thing, like you just killed the king and now you're like sitting on the throne, and it's a playlist that like playlist with that aesthetic. So most of the time I'll probably just listen to that if I'm reading something that needs a vibe. But if not, then I'm not listening to anything or watching TV, because I just cannot. I don't know how people do that. Number 6, one book at a time or several at once. So I've never been the type of person to read multiple books at once. I just don't understand. I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me. So most of the time I'm reading one book, and then I recently just got into audiobooks. So this is not sponsored by Audible. That would have been a great segue though. So I listened to an audiobook like on my Overdrive app, which is an app like with my library. So I'll check out a book and I'll listen to that when I'm driving or when I'm at work and it's like dead and I'm not busy and don't have anything to do. So I'll listen to that when I'm bored, or and then I'll read a book on the side. So that's the only 2 books I will ever be reading. I don't read 2 physical books at once. I don't listen to 2 physical or 2 audiobooks at a time. I just listen to one audiobook and I read one book. So yeah. Number 7, reading at home or everywhere. This is interesting because I used to be the type of person who can read any and everywhere. So like at work, at school, at home, anywhere, in a car. Now I don't know because we haven't gone out anywhere. So I don't really know if that's changed. I haven't gone to school in like a year. So I don't really know if I would be able to read between classes or if my brain would be fried from my schoolwork. So I don't know, but I did used to be the person who reads every and anywhere. Like I don't mind, I'll take a book with me and read between classes, during my breaks, during my lunch, during whatever. I don't read at work anymore. I never have, because I have a half-hour lunch, so in that half hour I'm usually just like sitting, chilling, resting my legs, so I don't really read. I'm just usually on my phone. So I guess for right now, only at home. Okay, 8. Reading out loud or silently in your head. The idea of reading out loud is so funny to me. Like, so funny to me. I don't read out loud. I never have. I don't understand it. I get tired. My voice gets tired. My throat starts to hurt, so I don't really read out loud ever. Never ever have I ever read out loud anything, except when my sister was younger. I used to read books out loud to her, just to get her into it, because she's so impatient, and I would read like the first 100 pages of a book to her and she'll continue. But that's the only time I've ever read out loud, and I don't read out loud anymore, like or ever, really. I never have. I just read silently in my head. Yeah. Number 9, do you read ahead or even skip pages? No, I don't read ahead. I remember when I was watching Carrie Hope Fletcher's video, she was talking about how if there's like an embarrassing scene, she'll like just skip ahead or like read ahead to see if it turns out okay in the end. I've never really thought of it even that way at all. I just did it like I just read the pages and I don't really skip ahead. If there's a book that I'm reading with like super intense like description, because there are books like that, like The Book Thief or something like that, where they're just going into details and descriptions and everything for like 3 paragraphs at a time, like I'll skip a couple of words, skip a couple of paragraphs, but I don't read ahead and I don't skip pages ever, like never. I don't understand skipping pages, because you're reading a book, like you want to know what happens. What if something important happens in those pages? I don't know. That's just me though. Number 10, breaking the spine or keeping it like new. I don't buy books that can be broken. I don't buy paperbacks. I only ever buy hardcover books, which, if I were ever to move out of the country, it would be really impossible to transport them, which sucks. And they're harder to read, but I do not buy paperbacks. I just, if I'm paying the money, I might as well buy a hardcover. So most of the time I have hardcovers, and you can't really break the spine with hardcovers from what I know. And most of the time my books look like new, like they're always new. I like to keep them nice and pristine and in great shape, and I don't really break the spine ever, and I've never really understood that. Like, I think I got a Wreck This Journal forever ago, and one of the questions was to break the spine, and I just couldn't get myself to do it, so I never did it. So yeah. Okay, 11, do you write in your books? I used to highlight and write in my books, and like just be really into it, like, you know, the whole highlighting game, all of that. Now I don't, because I just usually buy books from I borrow books from the library when I'm reading them, and I'll return them, so I can't really write in them. But the books that I do have, a couple of them do have writings in them, but I just don't anymore. I don't know why. I think it's interesting, but I just have never been the type of person to do that anymore. I used to, like, I think in The Fault in Our Stars, my copy, and Looking for Alaska and Twilight, I've annotated and I've written in them, and I like highlighted passages that I really liked. But I don't do that anymore, because like I said, I borrow books from the library, and so I don't, and when I do buy the books, I've already read them, so I don't really write in them. So that's pretty much why I don't write in books anymore. And yeah, you guys, on that note, that completes this video of the Reading Habits book tag. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the Reading Habits tag. If you enjoyed it, let me know down below. This is by Ariel Bissett. I will leave the questions in the description box, and I will link her video also in the description box if you would like to watch it. She's the original creator of this tag. And I will also link Carrie Hope Fletcher's video down here as well, because that's where I got the idea from. But yeah, you guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around and listening to me ramble for like 10-12 minutes. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Always remember to keep your head, heels, and standards high, to treat people with kindness, and I'll see you guys again next week with another video. Bye, you guys.